the M of parallel lines are equal. Okay? So this tells us two things, right? It tells us the same thing, but it really tells us two things, yes? If line 1 is parallel to line 2, if those are parallel, did you find it, Anastasia?
No, someone was.
It was an iPad?
Yeah, like
Wait.
I don't have case. I just selected save emoji, and many people say it. I already asked, and I go to check.
It's an actual Apple iPad, though? You should try Find My iPad. Maybe it will show up.
But I didn't open the. I didn't open the.
It just works with icon.
Yeah, I just logged the address.
It should still work.
Does it work?
It should. You should try it. Yeah, but better to try than not. If they are parallel, then M's are equal. And that, of course, works both ways. That's what this arrow means. If you have two lines with equal slopes, they're automatically parallel. If you have two parallel lines, you already know they're equal slope. You don't need to do any proving, okay? If you're told that lines are parallel, you know they have the same slope, okay? Now this one's going to be slightly different. We are going to draw two lines that are perpendicular to each other. What first does the word perpendicular mean? They meet at 90 degrees, okay? So in the top left corner over there, let's do the easiest one we could do. Straight up and then straight out. You know that that is 90 degrees, don't you? Does everyone agree? Right? Has to be. Okay? So I'm going to call this guy line 1. I'm going to call this guy line 2. Now this is a two-part definition here. You've got to pay attention, okay? We're going to start with the first part of the definition here. We know that these guys are perpendicular to each other, yes? Because they meet at 90 degrees. One goes straight up, one goes straight across, yeah? Okay. What is the slope of line 1? Straight up and down. Undefined. Now, what is that in our rise over run notation?
0, no.
Its rise is what? What's the rise of this line? Rise.
8.
8. What's the run of that line?
0.
0. And we know that that's undefined, yes? Okay. Now, what's the run, or what's the slope of line 2?
0 and 0.
Its rise is 0, and its run is 8. I think I made it perfect. 1, 2. Right. Everyone cool? Everybody good? Okay, what do you notice?
Like, I forget the term.
They're flipped fractions, right? Does anyone remember the term for that? Reciprocal. Okay, so they're reciprocal fractions. Everybody cool? So that's part 1 of what we're about to discuss. Okay, everybody good? Yeah? Okay, now, I want for you to take on the other side of your graph, I need you to make a line that is going with a slope of 1. Go a slope of positive 1. Everybody cool? Starting from the origin. So if I have a slope of positive 1, how do I make the slope positive 1? What do I do? What will ensure that my slope is 1?
Go up by 1 cosine.
Go up and sideways by how much? 1, or any same amount, yes? So if I go up 8 and over 8 out here, I'm going to have a slope of 1, aren't I?
2.
5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Everybody cool with that? Yes? Yeah? Okay, now I'm going to take another line and I'm going to go up 8. Okay? And now this time I'm going to go this way 8. Everybody good still? And I'm going to call this blue guy line 3. I'm going to call this red guy, which I haven't drawn yet because I'm a doofus. This red guy will be what? Line 4. Smart kids. Now, this line here, this red line, has what slope?
1. No, -1.
-1. Everybody cool? Everyone good?
Yeah.
Okay. So now, line 3 has a slope of 8 over 8, yeah? The way I've drawn it, which is 1. Everybody cool? And line 4 has a slope of what?
0.
-8 over 8. Everybody still cool? Okay, that's the second part of the lesson of this definition. The first part says perpendicular slopes must do what?
Meet at 90 degrees.
No. The slopes only. The slopes reciprocate. Right? That was the word. Gerard forgot the word, but he knew the word. So that's part 1. They reciprocate. What else must they do? What's this? Positive. What's this? Negative. So they must reciprocate and they switch signs. Does everybody see why? I mean, it makes sense, right? If something's going to meet it at 90 degrees, it's got to be the opposite slope, yeah? Everyone good? I'll show you how we use it in a second. Parallel lines, and let's do the symbol. Parallel lines have equivalent slopes right? Why? Because if rise or run is changed, what will happen? They'll meet. It might be 1,000,000 kilometers down the road, but they will meet, won't they? Right? Now, perpendicular lines, which also have a symbol, it is this, an upside down T, that's perpendicular. They have what kind of slopes? There's two things to remember. Their slopes are negative reciprocals. Is everybody good? So I forgot to write up here, line 1 is perpendicular to line 2, and this again works both ways. If the slopes are opposite signs, and reciprocated. Everybody cool with that? There's nothing new today, right? It's just a new term. We already know how to find slope. We already know how to move stuff around, right? So now I would like to see if you really get this. Of course, Line 1 has a slope of 2 over 3, so what's his perpendicular line? Negative 3 over 2. Or,
Negative
technically, 3 over negative 2, right? It's going to give you the same line, yeah? Or, negative 3 halves. Everybody good with that? This causes kids trouble at every level. You need to be aware that all three of those things are the same. You are, yes? Okay. If a slope, negative 7, what's his perpendicular slope?
7. No, 1 over 7.
Positive 1/7, because it flips and changes sign. Everybody good? Slope of 4, what's his line for parallel? 4. Parallel. It's going to be the same. And the last guy?
11 over 5.
11 over 5. Cool. And then 2 super easy ones that we already explained. If slope is 0, perpendicular is? Undefined.
Yes.
And if it's undefined, the perpendicular slope is?
0.
0. Why? Because slope of 0 is is y, a rise of some amount over 0. For a 0 slope, yes? Other way around. I screwed that up. It's 0 over x. For a slope of 0, yes? Some run. But to perpendicular it, you would flip it to x over 0. Is that allowed? No, because you can't have 0 on the bottom. This guy, if his slope is undefined, it's some rise over 0 run. Flip it to what is okay, 0 over a run, and that's allowed. Everybody good? Okay. The rest of this entire section is just algebra. Okay, and some of you might be a little dodgy and in need of some algebra. So, decide if SD is parallel, perpendicular, or neither to AB. So, ST and AB, what does that mean? What does this notation mean? It's the points, right? So I need the slope between S and T, correct? So I'm going to go ahead and highlight S and T with yellow. That's the slope I need, right? And then the other slope I have to deal with is AB, which would be this slope, yes? So I have to decide if those slopes are parallel, perpendicular, or neither. So how many slopes do I have to find? 2. I have to find the slope of line ST, which is what? How would I find that? Algebra. Who chooses, which form of M are we going to need to use here? We don't have a graph, so what are we going to do? y2 minus y1. Who chooses? You do. Okay? Now I'm to the point where I look at that and I choose the way that works best for me. Right? But it doesn't matter. I don't even label these anymore. I just remember it. But you guys may want to label x1, y1, x2, y2. So I'm going to go 5 plus 1, yeah? Because 5 minus 1 is 5 plus 1. Cool? Is everyone okay with that? Or do I need to write it out the long way? We're good? And then negative 1 minus 4 is what? That's the same as negative 1 plus 4, yeah? What's 5 plus 1? 6. Negative 1 plus 4? 3. So ST has what slope? 2. Now, since I need a rise and a run, let's remind ourselves that it's 2 over 1. Cool? So we have our one slope. Now let's check AB. So negative 1 minus 1, negative 1 plus 1, because it's negative 1 minus minus 1. I've switched the order here. And 1 minus 5, right?
Yeah.
Why would I switch the order? What good does that do me? Any amount of good? No, it is simply a teaching method for you guys to say this is a different slope, so I can change the x2, y2 order because it's a different slope. Is everyone okay with that? So on this one, I made this guy x2 and y2. And this guy x1 and y1. And it still works. What's negative 1? Sorry, should have been 1 minus minus 1, which is 1 plus 1, which is what? 2. And 1 minus 4? Negative 4. That's not a fraction we would leave. What would the fraction be?
1 over negative 2.
Negative 1 over 2.
Sure.
Is that cool? Are they negative reciprocals?
No.
They're not?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they are.
Negative reciprocals, so what does that make them? So we can say line ST is perpendicular to line AB. Okay?
Whoa.
Easy peasy lemon squeezy, right?
Yeah.
All right. Let's go to the next question. Any words in there you don't know?
Vertices?
Vertices is just the plural of vertex. Does everyone know what a vertex is?
Sure.
Corner of an angle, right?
Got it.
So how many vertices are there in triangle ABC? How many angles are there? 3. So there's 3 vertices, yeah? We know where those vertices live, but here's the problem. Question is it a right triangle? If it's a right triangle, what must it have?
90 degrees.
It must have a 90-degree angle, which means 2 of these lines meet at a 90-degree vertex, yes? And in math, how do we prove if something's a 90-degree vertex? What would the slopes be at that vertex?
The same.
They'd be the same to be 90 degrees? They'd be negative reciprocals, right?
Yes.
Now there's 3 vertices here, which means we technically would need to check 6 slopes, yes? Right? Because we had to check the slopes at every vertex. Yeah? Or do we?
Algebra.
Eventually we're going to do algebra. But how many times should we do it? What happens if I sketch this? Will that eliminate some angles?
Yes.
Let's find out. Everybody make yourself a Cartesian plane.
Sure.
Again, it only need be sketched. Point A is negative 3, 1. So where would that go? I'd go out to negative 3, 1, 2, 3, and I'd go up where? 1. Everyone okay with that guy being A?
Yeah.
He's just nicely sketched, right?
Yeah.
We decide what 1 looks like. Cool? So now that we have our scale, we can do B. B is at 6, negative 2. I'm going to make him a blue dot. Where would that be? 6. So I got to go double this distance, yeah? Right? So out to about here and double that distance down. Everyone okay with that guy being 6, negative 2, which is B? Everybody cool with that?
Yeah.
Okay. And C is at 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's C at 3, 4. Everybody cool? Now we can sketch that triangle. Where is the only possible 90-degree vertex?
The A and the B.
Right here, yes?
Yeah. Boom.
I don't need to check these two, do I?
No.
So if I check this slope, which is what slope?
AC.
If the M of AC is the first one I check, and what's the other slope I need to check?
BC.
The M of BC, or CB. Doesn't matter, right? So I just check those two slopes. If they're negative reciprocals, do I have a right triangle?
Yes.
Well, let's check. What's the M of AC? I'm not going to write out Y2, Y1. I'm just going to go ahead and start writing. 4 minus 1. Is everybody happy with that? 4 minus 1. Everyone cool?
3 plus 3.
And then what would it be?
3 plus
3
3.
plus 3. What's 4 minus 1?
3.
What's 3 plus 3?
6.
Would we leave it like that?
No.
1/2. Cool? What's BC?
Here.
4 minus 2, which is 4 plus 2 over 3 minus 6, which is 6 over negative 3, which is
Good. 2 over
negative 2 over 1, yeah? Negative reciprocals?
Yes.
Yes. So they are indeed a right angle triangle. Everybody good? Questions? Please notice that we are using every skill from this unit all the way through, yes? We're using some graphing, we're using some algebra, we're using some slope. It's all in use, yes?
All comes together.
4 points.
Yeah, they go
I need a value for A that will make them parallel. Ooh. Well, what do I know as soon as I see the word parallel?
all equal, yeah.
They're equal. So that must mean if they're parallel, the slope of AB must be what? Equal to the slope of CD, correct? But what is the slope of AB? That would be these guys, yeah? Well, what is it?
Well,
You can work on it on your own, or you can say it out loud. I don't really care. 10 minus 5 over 7 minus 3. Everyone agree?
yeah.
And if they're parallel, then they would have to be the exact same as these guys, yeah? So what would that be?
Over 4.
A minus 2 over 1 minus 0, correct? Do we know how to solve that?
Yeah.
Sure we do. 10 minus 5 is 5. 7 minus 3 is 4. A minus 2 over 1. What do I do as soon as I see two fractions equaling each other? Cross multiply. Noah, please tell me what this cross multiplication will become.
4a minus
You're not Noah, Joa.
4a minus 8.
4a minus 8 will equal what? 5.
Yes.
And then what would you do? More math. Good job, buddy. This being math class, what math would you do now? Starts with an A, ends with an A,
Algebra.
has algebra in the middle of it.
Algebra.
Algebra. Why, the Mermaid was embarrassed in class. Her algebra was showing. I've already used that joke before. That doesn't mean it's not funny. Thank you, Jim Rod. One person smiling. Bonus points for you.
Well, I want bonus points.
No! That's better. Too late now. Obviously, you're just trying to toady up to me. That's a real word. So what's the answer? A equals what? 13 over 5. Cool in the gang? Over 4, dummy. Over 4. Would we leave it as 4 as that? Could we leave it as that?
Yes.
Yes, we could. Could we write it as a decimal?
Yeah.
Yes, we could. Okay, could we write it as a mixed numeral? Yes, we could. Could it be all 3? So on your provincial exam, could it be A, 13 over 4, B, 3.25, C, 3 1/4, D, all? Sneaky, right? Because a great many of you will probably stop there. Right?
Yeah.
That's the thing they like to do to you. You know what else they sometimes like to do to you? If this isn't reduced, for example, it was 26 over 8, that might be over here too.
Whoa.
Or worse, 26 over 8 is here, but it's not here. Picking up what I'm putting down? So you will need to do the simplifying. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Now, you guys are very smart young people. If it is perpendicular, then the m of AB, which would be some number over 1, wouldn't it? Right? Is everybody with me theoretically here?
Yeah.
It would have to be, for CD, would have to be what? Negative 1 over the m of CD, correct? So what does this mean we can do? This guy would be line 1's slope would be y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, yes? Then, what would that make this guy if they were perpendicular?
Negative
x2 minus x1 over y2 minus y1, but the whole thing would be negative. Does everybody see that? So you could do that, couldn't you? You have two options. You can find both slopes and see if they reciprocate, or you can do it all in one step, can't you? Because AB is going to be the same, isn't it? What was AB's slope? We just did it. 5 over 4. And now we change this. I used to have 1 minus 0 on the bottom, didn't I? So where does it go now?
over.
On the top. And I used to have A minus 2 as a numerator. And where does it go now? Where does it go now?
The bottom.
To the denominator. Yeah. And that whole thing would be what? Negative. So solve it. 5 over 4 equals negative 1 over A minus 2. What do I do as soon as I see a fraction?
Cross multiply.
Cross multiply. Noah!
5A minus 10.
Look at you!
I'm all grown up.
Equals what?
Negative 4.
Negative 4. And then we just do our algebra, yeah? What does A equal? I'm making you guys do the steps. 6/5. Right? Or 1.2. Or 1 1/5.
Or
All of the above. Everybody good? Now, this is just a shortcut, isn't it? Right? Because could we have done this whole thing twice and then just compared? Yeah. But I like this shortcut because I'm all about saving you people time. Cool? Time. All right, now listen to me. Listen to me closely. You should be noticing that I am going significantly slower with this unit than I have in the past. Right? We did 2 whole days on slope, didn't we? Right? And then a whole day on slope-intercept form, yeah? And now a whole day on parallel and perpendicular, which is really just slope again, isn't it?
It is.
So that means we've done 5 days, and what is the common theme to all 5 days?
Slow.
Slope.
Up, slow, yeah.
So, what does that tell you about the importance of all the concepts that lead to slope? It's pretty darned important. Across every academic discipline, you need to understand that slope is a rate of change in chemistry, in physics, in biology, in social studies, in math class, in economics, in marketing, in accounting, in programming. Do you all understand this? In math, we boil it down to something so easy. Rise over run. Everywhere else takes that concept that isn't that complicated and applies it to their business. Does everyone understand? So please, understand how important slope is, A, and B, when in doubt, what should you do with every question you face for the next 3 units?
Answer C.
Find the slope. That's how important it is. Slope will help. Now, if you look on your outline, you will notice I have given you a buttload of questions for parallel and perpendicular lines. Please, please, please understand. The textbook will make you think of parallel and perpendicular lines as more than just negative reciprocals. Do you understand? That's the tool you need to do the job. Just like if I taught you how to use a socket,
Yeah, okay.
the tool for loosening nuts and bolts,
Yes.
if I taught you to use a socket, you then technically have all the skill you need to remove a transmission from a vehicle, don't you? Technically. Agreed?
Technically, yeah.
How many of you would go and attempt to remove a transmission from a vehicle if I taught you, turn it this way, you can loosen the bolt, turn it the other way, you can tighten the bolt?
None of us?
Hopefully none of you. Unless you did what?
Learn how to...
Practiced. Where's the practice? Right here. Understand? But also please notice in your notes, what's your next page?
Practice.
Practice 1 to 7. And you will notice that it starts with slope intercept and x and y intercepts again, doesn't it? Why?
Practice.
Practice. This is the first thing that we are actually going to mark in this unit tomorrow. Okay? Do yourselves a favor. Assignments aren't worth very much, yeah? So do yourself a favor and attempt this as a quiz. When you go home tonight after you practice with the textbook work in class for the next 15 minutes, do this tonight with no notes and time yourself. Try to get it under 10 minutes. Okay? The worst thing that's going to happen is you might get 9 out of 15 on an assignment. right? Which, if you do better on the test, will be negated anyways. You with me? So do yourself a favor, once you've done the practicing in the textbook, attempt this as a quiz. I can't make you, and if you desire 15 out of 15, do this with your notes. That's okay, I'm not going to stop you. But it will be more beneficial to you to risk 1 or 2 assignment marks and attempt it to see if you're really on the right track. Is everybody cool?
You could do it as a quiz and then later correct yourself.
Now, I know all of you are going to go straight to this right now. I'm aware of that. I was a teenager a scant 25 years ago. But I recommend again, at least go have a look at this. Okay? Everybody good? Go diddly-o. Great.